Hi, and welcome back to Eagle Eye Builds. Today I'm going to walk you through my miter station I've been working on for the last few months. I'm going to show you how I'm utilizing my storage, what I'd like to change on some of that now that I've been living with it for a few months, and then some other modifications I'm going to do later on down the road. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let me first walk you through the depths of the cabinets and how I came to that decision. There's no right or wrong answer. It all depends on what you want, what you need as far as storage goes, and how much space you have in your shop. For me, being a two-car garage, I wanted to make sure I maximize my space as much as possible, but still give myself plenty of storage. So I went with 20 inches deep on the actual base cabinets themselves. And their regular counter height, which is 34 inches high. I did the base cabinets themselves are actually a 30-inch cabinet, and then I just did a 4-inch toe kick underneath as a separate build. So pretty simple, basic construction. Made it really simple, kept it the right height. Again, I made this part floating here in the center just because I didn't know what saw I was actually going to use. And I gave myself plenty of depth. So depending if I did a sliding miter saw, a 12-inch or a 10-inch, I still had some wiggle room there that I could still make it work once we got to the saw. Again, the tops are the same as I did my workbench. If you've seen that video, again, it's a laminated particle board, 3/4 inch, that I then wrapped around with some hard oak to protect the edges from the lamination. I did that for all the workshops as you see here, just to give it a little more durability and kind of nice finished edge. Here's an idea I saw from a couple different YouTubers out there on some mini totes for hardware storage. From Harbor Freight. Worked out pretty nice. You can get probably 10 bins in here total, depending on how high you want your cabinets to be. I actually have 9 of the thinner ones and 1 of the little thicker ones. Seemed to work out best for me. But again, you can kind of customize it however you feel fit, depending on how many little bobs and bits of hardware you got. So again, here's the construction of the box. Pretty simple. It's an 18-inch wide, 20-inch deep base cabinet. I used some scrap pieces of wood in the back, so you have a full panel in the back there. You could do it without, depending on how you wanted to attach them to the wall. I wanted to use the back as the attachment method to secure them in place. I did end up adding some spacers in the back here, 3/4 inch plywood just to be a stop for the bins when they go through. And then I just added some thin pieces of material on the edge. I kind of had to sneak up to it, try to get it right. So they actually slid in there nice. So it does take a little bit of finagling once you figure it out, but worked out really great. Next, I have 2 additional cabinets I have here. This one is a 24-inch, the other one's a 15-inch. Again, this one I have here just for all my finishing materials, either paint, stain, semi-gloss, that type of thing. Put a couple of shelves in here, kind of set it up so I could get as much out of there as possible. It does make it a lot easier to find what you're looking for instead of all scattered out throughout your shop. And then the last one, kind of go along with the painting theme, is just all your odds and ends, your trays, paint, rollers. I have some other drywall stuff in there too. Again, it's not ideal right now, but at least it's a home location. Last 2 cabinets are both 30-inch cabinets. Again, still basic, 2 doors. I have 2 different shelves in here. Again, it's kind of a catch-all right now, some extra bags of tools I have. I didn't have much storage prior to this, so I really wanted to get these cabinets built to have a good place to put everything. And then the last one here has just a couple of my circular saws, a belt sander, and then a couple different like jigsaw, that type of things in their cases. I'm going to walk you through my uppers. All the upper cabinets, there's 5 of them here. They're all 15 inches wide, 12 inches deep, 30 inches high. Pretty basic wall cabinet. Inside, again, simple construction. 1 shelf, I have it adjustable. I can add more depending on what I need. Here I have different glues, finishing, the other type of materials, big jugs. Over here, rags, caulking. Again, I had another shelf in there. Worked out well. And then last, I have the 3rd cabinet here too. Again, it's kind of a catch-all for some different hardware I have for holes and whatnot. Last 2 uppers I have here. Again, this is over by where my paint storage is. So I have all my paint brushes hung up in here, stir sticks, and then I have some cleaning supplies. And then over here is kind of like the catch-all for my larger quantity for hardware, my work gloves, and then some excess sandpaper. Again, all this is kind of right above where my bin storage is too, so it's all kind of the same location. Some other storage ideas I came up with for sanding. I saw this from different places. I have my belt sanders here, a large belt sander, and then I have all of my different grits of my sandpaper, going from 80, 150, 220, and 320. Then I have an extra spot at top. So that worked out really well to have that there. So that's all my cabinets. Next is the actual location for the miter saw. I just purchased that saw. Now I know which one I have, so I know some adjustments I need to make to it. So that's going to come shortly after this video. I need to do some work on that to get that done. But I wanted to walk everyone through all my cabinets that I've had so far. But still more to come on this, kind of the final touches to really make it a true miter station with the saw itself. Again, I want to thank everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed watching me walk you through my miter station so far. I have more work to do, and I will walk you guys through that once I get to that. If you would like to leave me a comment, like, or even subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. If you've seen some things on here or have not seen some things on here, let me know what you'd like to see. I'll leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to try to get that incorporated into some of the next videos. Okay? Again, I appreciate everyone watching, and take care.